many of you, like I, do not think that a village is where you raise children.
No.
We know that parents raise children.
Yeah.
You know, one of the reasons I became a legislator, along with a myriad of other issues, and small business, taxes, and everything else, was to protect the family. And in my belief system, and quite frankly, in the United States' belief system, we created a model. And that model was a father and a mother and children. That's the Judeo-Christian family model that was put forth in the Bible from the very beginning. It is what has made this nation what it is today. And every time you see a degradation of the family, every time you see those rights disappear, every time you see those things begin to fade away, you see that society begin to degrade. You see that society begins to fall, and the stuff that holds it together, okay, begins to slowly deteriorate. We do not want to see that happen in the state of Michigan, and we do not want to see that happen in our nation. And Resolution N is one of those things that makes sure that the family and their rights are strengthened. One of the things that I've tried to do, and I've been on the Children and Family Services Committee every year since I've been here for 3 terms, is, you know, I want to make sure that quite frankly, we protect the family. Every child needs mothers and fathers. Every child needs both. And if they lack one, that child is going to lack something extremely important. One of the things that we want to see happen, both in Resolution N and also all family legislation, is that we're bringing and making tighter and stronger that family unit. Because, quite frankly, when the going gets tough, whether you get hit by a hurricane, whether you get hit by an economic crisis, no matter what the case may be, it's those families that pull together and make it possible to be able to get through what's ever there. And the state is in no way can the state replace that. It cannot do that. And what we want to make sure in all of our legislation is that the family has the opportunity to be able to be held together and have primary rights over their children, whether it be to raise them, where they live, where they go to school, what they're taught. I have a couple pieces of legislation which my support staff, Josiah, is going to be handing out to you. A few bills I'd like to see happen that I believe also would strengthen the family. One of them is House Bill 5761, which creates a higher burden of proof for no-fault divorce proceedings when minor children are involved. It's raising the level of evidence from preponderance up to clear and convincing. You gotta have a reason. You know, sometimes just delaying that emotional situation can be enough time for the two people to reconcile their situation. And when you make it too easy to get divorces, people do it. The more ways you make it easier to separate, they separate. The more difficult you make it, the less time the less chance that will occur. We also have another bill in the same committee, 5931, which removes the immunity from DHS workers who lie, commit perjury, or falsify documents. This legislation has been passed in, I think, 42 other states, and it needs to be passed here in the state of Michigan. If somebody lies and perjures themselves and falsifies documents, they should not have governmental immunity. And I have another bill where it would videotape all the interviews when there's neglect or when there's abuse being concerned. It's going to videotape those interviews so that you're not going to go do the he said, she said thing between DHS and the individuals who are being accused of something. You're going to have that right there in film, and everybody concerning that case can see that video. So that's one thing that we want to do, to keep everybody honest, to make sure nobody asks leading questions over and over.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to do that in an interview. That's not what a police officer would do. A police officer asks open-ended questions. And quite frankly, in my opinion, that DHS officers shouldn't be investigating, because they go to a place to figure out what crime is committed. A police officer goes to an investigation such as that to see if a crime has been committed. We need to see those changes occur. The other one is a bill that would say nobody can be placed on a central registry or any internal or external list or registry without being convicted or found guilty in a court of law.
Yeah.
In America, we're supposed to be innocent till proven guilty. But we have a system that all too often says you're guilty till proven innocent. That was never the way it was supposed to be. So the last bill that I wanted to tell you about was House Bill 5930. It creates a voucher system which will allow people to choose their provider, such as an attorney or a counselor, a psychologist, when DHS requires that you get these services. We want to take this list out of the hands of judges and out of the hands of DHS, and any qualified attorney, counselor, or psychiatrist that wants to be on the list can place their name on the list, and guess what? You people get to decide which one is yours.
Right.
All too often, attorneys who are picked for these things, they don't represent the client. They end up representing the DHS or the courts. Otherwise, they don't get any more cases. This gives that right to people. The ACLU isn't supportive of this. The Michigan Family Forum isn't supportive of this. The Citizens of Traditional Value isn't support of this. The right and the left is in support of this, and we need to be in support of this.
Yeah.
So what I'm asking is you sign those documents, you go ahead and put your name, address, and signature down there, because we want to see those on between now and the end of the year. We'd love to see that passed, because that would be several steps of improvement in our systems. So I thank you all for being here and for standing up for the families here in the state of Michigan, and I appreciate your efforts.
Thank
God
you.
bless you.